Okay. My Pinkhouse friends, welcome back. If you're new to the channel and this is your first time coming in to view a pink conversation, you're in for a treat. I have with me a special guest this evening. This is a friend of mine, and in the interest of full disclosure, Jessica Johnson, and she's our featured pink conversation lady today. And we're going to talk about Jessica's triumph through cancer and her survivorship story. So we're going to get Jessica to tell you a little bit about Jessica, and we'll ask her some questions along the way. So Jessica, say hello to the people in the pink house and introduce yourself and tell us your story.
Hi, everyone. I am Jessica. I am a cancer survivor. I had ovarian cancer, was diagnosed about 37 years old with ovarian cancer.
Wow.
And it was a very aggressive form of cancer. So they, I had
Let
surgery.
me ask you some questions leading up to your diagnosis, Jessica. Had you been having symptoms or problems, or was it something that just came on all of a sudden? Or had you been for a period of time having different symptoms that you just wasn't sure what was going on?
Um, well, leading up to that, I had prior to that been diagnosed with endometriosis.
Okay.
Now endometriosis doesn't typically lead to cancer. And in fact, my gynecologist was very surprised when he got the pathology report back that it was cancer.
Okay.
So the problems that I was having was related to endometriosis um, and cysts that were forming, very large cysts, causing a lot of pain. I was in pain for my cycle 3 weeks out of 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of pain pills. And yeah, I was continuing to search to figure out what was going on. And so the first time after my diagnosis for endometriosis, I did have a surgery to remove a cyst, and it was on the right side
Okay.
ovary. And so then after a while, everything seemed to be going smoothly. The pain greatly subsided. And I was also put on the depot shot
Okay.
to stop any flow
Right.
that the nose cyst would try to grow again. However, about a year later, I started feeling the symptoms again.
Okay.
And so I asked my doctor to check and see what was going on because I was in a lot of pain and it was similar to the pain I was having before.
Okay.
He didn't remember, but I remember when he said that if a cyst grew back in that same location, which was on the right ovary, that we could just take the ovary along with the cyst. But
Okay.
it kind of seemed like there was something going on with it because the pain was coming from the same area. And come to find out that it was another cyst, um, large enough to do surgery again
Wow.
on that same right ovary. So when we did the surgery to remove the cyst and the ovary, is how the cancer was discovered. The cancer was in the
Okay.
ovary, not the cyst. So
Oh, okay.
if the ovary had not been removed, which my doctor was really hesitant about removing that ovary because he's a great gynecologist, but he was always talking about
You're a
having
young woman.
yeah,
Yeah. Haven't
yeah,
had children yet. Yeah.
having all children. So yeah, but he, thankfully he did remove the ovary, and that's how the cancer was discovered.
Wow. Wow. So then when you wake up from the surgery where you know that the cyst is being removed to help alleviate the pain, and then you get this information dropped on you that during the surgery, what was your reaction? How did you take that?
Um, I didn't believe it at first because I tell you, my doctor didn't really believe it at first either. So it was on my checkup after the surgery,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks after that surgery, when I went for my checkup is when he gave me the diagnosis.
Oh wow.
And I did not believe him. Um, and he gave me, of course, the information for to connect with oncologists and all of that. And so when I finally met with the oncologist, um, is when she pretty much assured me, they had done the test, they had done the washings, they had tested it several different ways.
Thoroughly to
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. So, um, that diagnosis always hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And of course I cried about it, but my oncologist was great too. She said, "Okay, you can cry about it now, but we're not gonna keep crying about this.
Right.
We are going to um, do the surgery." And she kind of joked around like, you have to have the total hysterectomy, so
Right.
you'll be into menopause and you'll go a little bit crazy and you'll have the hot flashes and everything, but you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the surgery and chemotherapy, actually I had to go through because of the type of cancer that it was.
Okay.
Very aggressive form that doesn't really get discovered until most women reach in their 60s.
Wow. So
And it,
was it even so you say it's aggressive, but was it a slow growing one?
no, it
No. So it
wasn't.
was very fast growing?
It was very fast growing. That's why they did
Okay.
the total hysterectomy,
Okay.
to make sure that it hadn't gone into any other places. Yeah,
Okay.
why also the chemotherapy to
Okay. Now
stop it.
how many do you recall how many rounds of chemo did you have to have?
Um, I want to say 6.
Okay. Yeah, because usually it's like 4, depending on.
Yeah,
Okay.
about every 3 weeks.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so during this time, because with any disease process, it's a whole lot of stages within. One of the stages you get depressed, you get upset. What was there anything that you were doing trying to uh stabilize your psyche, so to speak, to try to stay on an even keel? Were there like little outlets? I know, for me, me, I always got a project going on, that helps
Hmm.
distract me. What was the thing that you did to try to help you maintain a mental balance during this time?
Well, actually, I was taking classes online
Okay.
during this time, and I was almost finished the classes. And my doctor said, "Yeah, continue. That will be a good thing to keep your mind
Okay.
active um, through all of this." So yeah, I had distraction
Okay.
because I had to focus on getting through those
Cool.
those courses,
Hmm.
and and a lot of support, like overwhelming support, and just persons reaching out from everywhere, and so many others, like friends of family, and
Hmm.
just it was. I, I didn't really have a chance to continue being sad after that
Okay.
first day,
Okay.
it,
Wow.
it was overwhelming support.
Oh.
So yeah,
And so how long have you been post treatment? How long has it been now? Since when?
it has been 6 years.
Really? Wow. Well, congratulations on that. I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary last week. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
congratulations to you. Oh,
thank you, darling. Yeah. We in this club. Not that we want to be in it,
right.
but hey.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing. So let me ask you this. Did you have any situations where you had to deal with like maybe individuals that didn't really understand and like for me, I know I had people that would like, oh, it's okay, it's not, it's like only a boob and all of that type of stuff sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, but it's mine. It's my body. And so they want to be supportive, but they come off sometimes a little glib about it. How did you deal with challenges and dealing with people like that, or did you not have to deal with that?
Um, I I can't say that I did.
Okay.
Um, I mean, for myself, I didn't want to have children anyway. So, and I had wanted the thing gone from so many years. I mean, I'm telling you, the pain that I was in.
That was just, yeah, to
Uh,
get relieved of that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be in menopause
Right.
that early age at this early age, but to be relieved of that pain and the just the headache of dealing with that monthly
Right.
cycle, it was more of a relief.
Than anything else. That's a beautiful thing, because sometimes too, I remember when my sister, um, maybe by her 3rd year marriage, I think that's when she finally had to have a hysterectomy because she had been
Mhm.
having problems, what have you, for a number of years. And I think by that 3rd year of marriage, it was just she'd had enough or what have you. And so she made the decision to get things taken care of, and she had the hysterectomy. She was like you. She was like, she was wondering, why didn't I do this years ago? you know, and for some people, the life that they had with the pain and the symptoms prior to now being asymptomatic, no, and it's just such a blessing, that, yeah, um, and she was like you too. She says they had never, as a couple, decided that they weren't going to be, parents. I think, but when they did finally tell her that she was going to have the hysterectomy, I think she went through like a little mini depression, because even though you don't now, knowing you don't even have the option or the
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just natural because you're mourning that loss. But
Mhm.
once she got through that period, she was fine with it, because she would get, I think, like blood clots and stuff in her legs and stuff too.
Mhm.
And so once that was done, she didn't have that issue or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the self care things that you did for yourself during this time? What were some of the self care things that helped you just to feel, sometimes when we deal with these woman issues, these woman things, they sometimes make us feel less than a woman. And so, what were some of the self care things that you did to reconnect to that?
Um, well, losing my hair was a huge thing,
Yeah.
because prior to that, I I had cut my hair a little shorter previous prior to that, but to be bald headed
Yeah.
as a woman uh, was nerve wracking,
Okay.
and I thank you so much for. Um,
You gonna make me cry.
I know. um,
Mm.
helping me get through that first cut. Um,
You know me, I told you I'll cut it off with you, you know, and the one thing I will say, and I've come to appreciate, is that when you have these type of circumstances, although we're sisters anyway, but you know, this community of these shared experiences, you do get these relationships that you know, you'll do things or whatever because you just want the person to get to the next step of feeling well, to get to that next step of feeling better. And you know, and so it was a privilege for me to do that then, you know me, I'll cut my hair anyway, but to have a
right.
reason, you know, and it was, and you know, it's so funny because it made me think about when I was going through my situation. I was so nervous. You know, it's funny because you get an onslaught of information coming at you like a bullet train,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta process all of this information, make all of these decisions,
Yeah.
and so, you know, and by me working at the hospital, I saw my reports before they saw the reports. And so I done read all this stuff. I now know I have cancer. Haven't talked to my doctor yet, though. Haven't, whatever. And I was in such a state of panic.
Mm,
I didn't want to, I don't mind cutting my hair short, but I didn't want to see my hair fall out. So I
right.
went and got all of my hair cut off. And I didn't even have to get it cut off because I didn't have to have chemo. I
Oh,
did the surgery and radiation. And
mm-hmm.
so the possibility was that my hair wouldn't. I was like, oh, well, I was ready for it because I cut it off anyway. Because I was in such a state of panic. But I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But it was definitely my honor and my privilege to share that experience with you because even though we are not our hair is a large part of being feminine and the representation of being a woman and stuff. And so you do go through a change when something like that is happening. And so, you know, so that was my way of helping. Then I'm glad I helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
It- So once that happened, though, um, you know, my family and my friends kind of say that I turned into a diva uh, because
Really?
yeah, then the face was
Right.
more visible, and
Right.
so even though the eyebrows had fallen off too,
Right.
all the hair was gone. So trying to learn how to draw on eyebrows and just make my face be be comfortable with
Right.
my face without the hair.
Right.
And so
So
I
now when that happened, did you trans did you transition to wearing a wig right away, or did you ever embrace just wearing your bald head outside? What did you do?
um I I know I did have some wigs, um, but I think for the most part I got comfortable with being bald
Because
headed.
I'll tell you, you were cute as a button. Let me tell you, because when people saw, I mean, you just, and it's like you said, you had your the glam on and everything. You were beautiful, you know. And so it was like, I was like, wow, you know, you really looked really really pretty like that. And nothing against a wig, because you know I'll put one on every now and then too. But
Mhm.
it's like it was just to see you like that, and I don't know. I always just get a sense of strength from a woman that can really get to that point that she can, you know, because again, that's just a part of who we are. It's not the sum of who we are.
Yeah,
And, you know, and so I applauded you for being able to do that. And no doubt anybody listening to this story, you know, that's why I love these stories because everybody's story is different, but everybody's story can touch somebody because there's so many similar stories out there, you
yeah,
know, and to, you know, just to see, to hear what somebody went through, the little things that helped them. Now, here's a question that I ask everybody that come on, and so it's now my turn to ask you this question:
okay.
what does survivorship look like to you? What does survivorship look like to you? or mean to you? What does it mean to you, survivorship?
Um, it, I mean, it means a lot to me. I'm so thankful. I wasn't in control of any part of it. I wasn't in control of the cyst coming back to the same location so that, it was like, pay attention. Something is going wrong. Your body is trying to tell you something.
Okay.
To speaking up, to, having those regular checkups with my doctor to find out what is going on with my body. And to the fact that, the day of the surgery, when my gynecologist was um, supposed to the cyst and the ovary, because I don't do blood transfusions. He really didn't want to have to cut me open. So the surgery was done laparoscopically. And he
Really?
was saying, yeah, he was saying that if he could not get the ovary out, then he would just leave it.
Wow.
Imagine if he had just left it.
Right, because he wouldn't have known the cancer was there had he not removed the
Exactly.
ovary. Wow.
Exactly. So all of that was out of my hands. Um, so I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful of how everything happened. And so survivorship again was out of my hands. Um, and um, I'm thankful for the love and the support, and and having gone through it, and to be able to help others
Hmm.
as well. Um, so I that's all I can say is I'm
Okay.
very
Yeah.
thankful.
And like I said, everybody, it's the range. Everybody's comments have been different, but it's always a commonality in it, in that once you've had that experience, you want to turn around and help somebody else that's going
Mhm.
through it. And that's what it's about. It's the least you can pay it forward, because like you said, the support, the overwhelming support that comes out when people hear that anybody has a diagnosis like that, it's like, it's like they just want to do what they can to just give you a measure of comfort along the journey.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but everybody's journey is different. And, I really, one, appreciate your willingness to share your story, for this segment, because like I said, everybody has one. I'm in a breast cancer survivor group on Facebook, and that's how I meet a lot of the different ladies too that I have lined up to interview, because and it's always those that are coming in with that new diagnosis, and you can just hear those early stages, like where we were, the panic, the not knowing what, and so I always just have a tender spot to try to reach out to them to say it's gonna be okay. you know Take a
Yeah.
breath, slow down, don't try to engulf it all at one time, because it can be very overwhelming.
Yes.
um you,
In fact,
yeah, you have blank. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica. Keep talking. I don't know what's happening to this computer. Something has popped up on my screen. Oh,
oh,
yeah, where
I
I
was
can't
gonna
see you.
say,
Keep going. I can hear you.
okay. In fact,
Okay, there you are.
I was less concerned about myself,
Hmm.
because again, my doctors were very confident that they would be able to um, get all of the cancer, and that I would be able to beat it, because of my age, as well. And but I was more concerned for my family.
Okay.
You know, like, it's it's a different feeling when you're the one that's sick.
Right.
But when you're concerned about somebody else, I think that that causes more panic.
Right.
Um, and
Yeah,
so
I can relate to that, because same way with I was more concerned about my mom, especially, you know, um, Yeah, and it does add that extra layer to it of anxiety.
Mhm.
But what I have learned too in this journey is that it has really, really helped me to really do very well at disassociating myself from negative emotions and stress because disease processes feed on that. And so I have really, really gotten good with like, no, shut that down, moving away from that and just putting my mind in a better space mentally,
Mhm.
and so I will say that experience has really taught me how to do that because, you know, I'm a big girl, so with other health issues, and so trying to work on and manage them, in my own way, I'm trying to definitely negate the negative effects of negative emotions and stress. I'm like, if I can control that, then I could possibly try to work on these other things like my diet and all these other things. So
Yeah.
it definitely arms you with a lot more, or at least for me, a lot more cognition and responsibility in what I need to do for my own health journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And along with, we were talking about losing our hair. Um, once you go through that, um, and you have to just kind of deal with yourself as you are, your view of yourself, your body image, and everything changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Eh,
And
Go ahead. Hmm.
yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I have this hair now, but I definitely did prefer it shorter. I got so used to seeing
Right.
my face
All of
as
your
it
face.
was
Hmm.
that I preferred it that way. But because I've never been one to be doing too much with my hair anyway.
Right.
Um, but uh, but yeah, it definitely it changes you.
I think it too gives you a more sometimes I tell folks I just have a more simplistic outlook on things. It's like I don't deal with stuff that's overcomplicated. You know what I mean? I don't have a lot of overcomplicated stuff in my life. I'm like, it's like, it really has helped me to just push away all the drama and different things like that, because it's like once you go through that, like you said, once you, because they are, until you know what the outcome is, life or death situations, because you don't know how you're going to progress, how the treatment, how you respond to it, so you really don't know. And so coming through that, it's like it does shift and change your perspective. So yeah. And on one hand, I'm grateful for it because I'm a much different person
Mhm.
than I was, and so in one sense. But if I could have opted out of the club, I would have. But hey,
Yeah.
what they say, membership has its privileges, right? But yeah, and this is one of the privileges of this membership is having the opportunity to talk to strangers, to talk to friends, to talk to people I know, but even know them better. Because
Mhm.
it's like, you hear one of your friends is dealing with this, and you're there, and but now hearing your story, hearing you say more about what your journey was, it's like, you get a different view, because it's like, oh, I didn't know the inside details.
Mhm.
And so that's one of the privileges that I've definitely gained from this, is this opportunity to connect even further with people I'm already connected to, and then connect with strangers to try to help offer them, even if it's momentary,
Mhm.
just uplift and some positive thinking, for that time frame. So yeah, but
Mhm.
so I just want to thank you. I really do appreciate you sharing your story with us. I love you dearly, and
Yeah.
I will give you an air date once I'm finished, on the back end of it and everything, and give you a link and everything that you can send out to anybody you want to watch it and all that stuff. And when we air it, there'll also be like a premiere, so that it'll be a live chat, so you can be on. People may ask you questions, and you can answer in the chat and all of that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
it'll be fun.
awesome.
But I try to do it professional, boo. Actually, because I just recorded a session with Kalita, and
Oh,
it's gonna air Friday. Girl, it brought tears to my eyes too. It's because she's dealing with fibromyalgia,
oh,
and talk about educational. It was a very educational conversation, and that's going to air Friday at 7. So I would encourage anybody to look at it, because it was really mind blowing. Like I said, you really don't know what somebody is living with on the day to day just
mhm.
by looking at and so it was very insightful, and it was a great conversation. So
Yeah,
we will have to get together in person, darling.
yeah,
Oh,
me
yes,
too.
spend some time together.
Yeah,
So just stay put. I'm gonna end the segment here, but you stay on.
I love you.